Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the just now released Volume 2 of Otto Klemperer's complete Warner, really EMI, HMV, one of those things, recordings. And Volume 2 contains all of the operas and sacred works, which for some reason they separated out instead of making one ginormous box, which they could have done very easily, actually, because the first one had like 80 some odd CDs, and what's another, 29 or so. I mean, you just shove them in there, right? Well, they shoved them in here. And it's actually kind of handy to have this separate box. I actually think it's rather nice. And what do you get? Well, we've talked about this stuff many times, and so we don't have to make a meal of this particular video. I mean, we'll just go through it, and we'll mention some of the wonderful things it contains, because it's mostly pretty wonderful. It really is. First, we have, it begins, well, it's alphabetical. Well, it's not alphabetical. It's sort of alpha chronological betical, something or like that. I don't know. We begin with Bach, the St. Matthew Passion. Oh, we have talked about this before. This is unquestionably one of the great recordings of anything ever made. People who are, period instrument people usually hate this recording because it's so slow. It really is slow and grim and terrifying. But of course, the St. Matthew Passion, the story is kind of grim and terrifying, and it's gorgeously done. Oh my God, the opening chorus goes on forever, and you never want it to stop. It's glorious. Absolutely glorious. It has an amazing cast. I mean, just an unbelievably amazing cast. It's got let's see who's in it. Why don't we just do it that way? Let's see if they tell us in the little bookie here. Here's the book. No. Of course, they don't say a word in the book. Amazing, isn't it? Well, we can just take a look at this way. Here it is. Okay, Jesus, Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau, The Evangelist, Peter Pears, Elizabeth Schwarzkopf, Crystal Ludwig, Nikolai Gedda, Walter Berry, the Philharmonia Orchestra and Chorus. Oh my God, could it get any better? In terms of singing, it's unbelievable. And singing is what this is all about, so that's incredible. We're going to have to go through this. These are all original jacket things, so we'll do it this way. I'll pick them all out here. See, there they are. And we'll do it that way. That way I can tell you who's involved. Because one thing Klemperer did get was great singers, whether you like the performances or not. And that St. Matt is great. And if you don't like it, you don't have to like it. Nobody cares if you like it. It's great. And I certainly don't care if you like it. I think it's amazing. And then we have the Brahms German Requiem, one of the reference recordings of that. Klemperer is fabulous in this music because his approach is completely honest, rugged, unsentimental, and the expression somehow seems more naked and direct as a result. He's not gilding the lily. His sacred music is not schlocky or sanctimonious or oozing with religiosity, as Karajan's was, for example, often is not. So this is with Elizabeth Schwarzkopf and Fischer-Dieskau, the Philharmonia people. His Brahms was great. I mean, he was from, that part of the world, North Germany. He knew Brahms or something like that. I don't know. He could have known Brahms. Anyway, it's marvelous. It's been a classic, and most people agree about that one, by the way. Then we've got this solo disc of choruses from the B minor Mass, which was very interesting because he did a complete B minor Mass first, or second, pardon me. This is from 1961. I don't know whether the complete one came later, I think. And it was remastered by Testament, according to this. They just sucked up that remastering and stuck it on here. If you like the B minor Mass choruses, then without the solos, then there you go. Then we've got Fidelio, a reference recording there too. Amazing, absolutely amazing, with Crystal Ludwig and John Vickers and Gottlob Frick and Walter Berry, and again, the cast is non-pareil. There is a live recording of it out here too, which some say is actually even better. I'm not totally convinced of that. It's very, very good too. Is it a little more exciting? I don't know, maybe. But boy, it's great. Either way, it's great. It's phenomenal. Handel Messiah. Well, This is a little different, let's put it that way, with Schwarzkopf, Hoffmann, Nikolai Gedda, Jerome Hines, and the usual Philharmonia people. Now, the thing about Klemperer's sacred music at this point in his career, because this is late stuff, right? When was this recorded? It was recorded over quite a bit of time. Well, the solos were like done separately from the choruses and whatnot, so it was done over a period. 1964. You know, the tempos are slow, granted, but Klemperer, even back in his early days when he was at the Kroll Opera in Germany in the 1920s and 30s and whatnot, when he conducted this music, he was known, for example, leaving out vibrato, believe it or not, for that, again, the lack of sentimentality, the willingness to let the music be harsh when it needed to be harsh. It was shocking to people back in those days. It really was. And, you know, nowadays we would say, oh, it's authentic. Well, it's not even authentic. It's Klemperer. It's the way he did it, but it worked. It really worked. And this Messiah is a very good Messiah of its type. You know, you have to give him credit for having tremendous integrity and for being able to follow his interpretive vision to its logical conclusion and to do it supremely well. And, you know, and that's what a great performance is. You know, ultimately, is it the most idiomatic? Well, maybe not. But he also used a small chorus. He was trying in his own way to combine an authentic approach, an idiomatic approach, with his own vision of the work. And as a great conductor, I mean, he certainly had the right to do that, and he really succeeded in doing it quite well. Then what do we have? Oh, the Zauberflute, one of the great Zauberflutes. Amazing magic flute. I hate this opera. Oh my God, it drives me crazy. But the cast is amazing. Nikolai Gedda, Gundula Janowitz, Walter Berry, Lucia Popp. The young Lucia Popp is the queen of the night. Woo! Gottlob Frick, Franz Krass, Elizabeth Schwarzkopf is the first lady. Christa Ludwig is the second lady. You know, Marga Hofken is the third lady. I mean, boy, is that luxury casting, huh? Mm-hmm. And it is a great performance, and you know, some people like it better than I do. And we've got, let's see, the Mrs. Solemnis. Oh my goodness, one of the great Mrs. Solemni with Elizabeth Söderström, Marga Höfgen, Valdemar Kment, and Martti Talvala. Again, not quick tempo-wise, but spirituality coming out of the seams. It's dripping spirituality, if that like floats your boat. It's amazing. Let's see, what's this? Don Giovanni. Now, Don Giovanni is the best of his three Mozart opera recordings because it's Don Giovanni. It's like grim. It has that terrifying aspect, the seriousness of the comic opera. Again, all these Mozart operas they're slow tempos, and people can't stand them if they like the new fleet period instrument-y type things. But this is romantic Don Giovanni on steroids. It really is. I mean, the final scene, not the final scene, the penultimate scene, right? Yes. And the one before the final scene is really scary, where the Don gets sucked down to hell. The cast again: Nikolai Gyarov, Christa Ludwig, Claire Watson, Mirella Freni, the young Mirella Freni, Nikolai Gedda, Walter Berry. I mean, you know, it's just amazing singing. Wonderful, wonderful singing. So that's terrific. And then what else have we got here? More Don Giovanni's. How many records is this Don Giovanni? Special edition with previously unreleased playback sessions. Oh, these are the rehearsals. This is Klemperer's Don Giovanni behind the scenes, 77 minutes. That's what that was. Then we have the whole B minor Mass. I like this B minor Mass just the same reason I like that St. Matthew Passion. The contrapuntal clarity of everything. The strict line guy approach to Bach is really kind of marvelous. And it's not actually, I mean, it's slow. Yeah, it takes 68 and 67 minutes, 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's not terribly, ridiculously slow by B minor Mass standards. With Agnes Giebel, Janet Baker, Nikolai Gedda, Hermann Prey, Franz Krass. I mean, come on, this is great stuff. Then we have the Fliegende Holländer, which they call the Flying Dutchman. Oh, and I have a walking cat. Do not walk across my computer. Do not even think about walking across my computer. Please, Finster, do not walk across my computer. Thank you. Sit. Good. She's sitting. All right. With Theo Adam, Anya Cilia, Marty Talvala, Gerhard Unger, Ernst somebody or other, and Anneliese Burmeister. Yes, this is one of the great Dutchmans, and it has the original, not so transfigured ending, which I really like better because it's less tacky. I mean, Then we've got Wagner. Oh, this was great. This is Die Walküre, Act 1, which is all he did with Helga Dirdisch, William Cochrane, Hans Sultan, Norman Bailey, and Wotan's Farewell. These two discs, these were some of the rarest of all of Klemperer's recordings. They only showed up, I remember, on CD in one of those. Oh, here we go. There she went. And one of the Les Introuvables du Ring, one of those French thingies, box thingies, this was in there. And it's wonderful to hear what might have been had he done Wagner. Boy, he would have done a great ring. Holy mackerel. What's this stuff here now? Oh, Marriage of Figaro. All right, The Marriage of Figaro with Geraint Evans and Rary Grist and Elizabeth Soderstrom and Teresa Berganza and Gabrielle Bacquier. Really fine cast. It's not the most jolly Marriage of Figaro, but it is nowhere near as contemplative, shall we say, as Così fan tutti, which some people just say, oh, this is just too slow. This goes on forever. And it kind of does. And I kind of don't care. It's with Margaret Price, Yvonne Minton, Lucia Pop, Luigi Alva, Geraint Evans, Hans Soden. It's Così fan tutti without a shred of humor or wit. It's deadly serious. Deadly serious. And beautifully played and beautifully sung and sometimes desperately sung at those tempos. And then we have a Otto Klemperer, an opera souvenir, one of those chats with John Tolansky about, commentaries by various people. And that, my friends, is the box. What was it, 17 CDs I think I said, or they said, or 29 CDs. What am I talking about? 29 CDs of really mostly astonishingly great music making, and consistent music making, and Klempererish music making. And if you love Klemperer, you're going to love the Klempererish music making. It's worth getting to know, because we're talking about a really, really great conductor with roots that are absolutely tap roots into the tradition in which he was working, as well as an amazingly personal vision of all of the music that he played. And it's a limited selection of these choral masterpieces, but really, really an astonishing achievement. And in its way, it's almost more exciting than the 88 CD box of orchestral stuff, because you have Klemperer collaborating with amazing singers and really imposing his vision as an old man. And he was, kind of half dead some of the time. Really imposing his vision on these works. And it's a legacy like no other. That's just the bottom line. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.